What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much. Man, the year is flying, isn't it? It's already almost about, well, depending on where you are when you're listening to this video, I would say it's halfway through the month of September. And this video has a little bit of context that I wanted to go ahead and point out. It's actually a clip from a Twitter user called Nintendo Podcast. Apparently, this person does a podcast about Nintendo. I'll go ahead and show you guys here. And they have a really hot, and I'm talking, the take is so hot that if you were to basically try to handle it with your palms, it'll be hot potato for you. And they mentioned a few things about Nintendo. They talked about, what it is that Nintendo is possibly doing with its game releases, putting some context as to how many months the particular console itself has been launched and so on and so forth. So I thought, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we go ahead and listen to this particular take from this individual? Let's go.
Look at PlayStation, look at Xbox, for Christ's sake. There's nothing for Xbox at all. PlayStation's doing nothing. They release one game every quarter, and we have like 5 games coming from Nintendo themselves before the end of the year.
Now, you heard that, right? You heard that, right? Your ears were not basically hurting. I'll repeat it for you so that you can go ahead and, give yourself what I think is a very solid rehear. Okay, hear it again.
Look at PlayStation, look at Xbox, for Christ's sake. There's nothing for Xbox at all. PlayStation's doing nothing. They release one game every quarter, and we have like 5 games coming from Nintendo themselves before the end of the year.
You see that? That is, in my opinion, one of the best sleight of hands I've ever seen. They also did not necessarily go ahead and quickly, in my opinion anyways, categorize things properly. So first of all, this person said that nothing is coming out for Xbox, which is an absolute lie, or just something where I think this is from the console war fanboy narrative that has been portrayed for the last few years. Xbox has got no games. You remember that? This is the script that's probably playing in the background somewhere where he mentioned that casually. Now, he's talking about, the ecosystems, right? And he's going to only be able to, speak about things that he's, aware of in this particular category. I just have to, be honest with you guys. But it's just not true. There is just no world where what he said has any credence to it on the Xbox side. You know what's even crazy is on the PlayStation side too. When you actually go ahead and listen to what he says, it's also not, it's not accurate. Listen.
Games coming from Nintendo themselves before the... Look at PlayStation, look at Xbox, for Christ's sake. There's nothing for Xbox at all. PlayStation's doing nothing. They release one game every quarter, and we have like 5 games coming from Nintendo.
They've released one game every quarter. PlayStation? In the year 2025? Is he serious? How many PlayStation games launched in 2025? It's not possible to provide an exact number of exclusives, blah, 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 blah. We're looking at exclusives. How many PlayStation exclusives? What is this AI talking about? Go look at Moby Games. They keep it real. Ghost of Yote is the only PlayStation developed exclusive that is launching this year. Death Stranding on the Beach is Kojima's game. It's not for PlayStation. Ballad of Antara is also not a PlayStation game. Phantom Blade Zero is not a PlayStation game. Okay? These are not PlayStation titles. They're all going to be, at some point, going to PC and or Xbox. Nintendo, on the other hand, according to him, he says, has these 5 games coming out, which is very interesting. So listen again, very carefully.
Xbox, for Christ's sake. There's nothing for Xbox at all. PlayStation's doing nothing. They release one game every quarter.
This guy, I don't know who's writing the script for his show, or who's, doing, say, in my opinion anyways, the fact checking or the producer, but man, that's absolute nonsense.
And we have like 5 games coming from Nintendo themselves before the end of the year. Then Zelda and Pokemon and Tamagotchi Life and everything coming at the start of next year.
You know what's crazy? This console fanboy that commented here, ACS Malos, says nothing but facts here. This is also another console warrior that whenever you see the account, you just need to laugh at what's going on. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this should be one of those things that kind of rolls off. But again, you see how the conversation is so weird and is so wild. Now, given the context, this particular missive could have been put properly without having to lie about Nintendo and PlayStation. You know what I mean? For instance, bro could have just said, yo, the console just recently came out. Y'all need to probably just give a realistic perspective based on these 5 games that we've seen from the launch year. That would be absolutely acceptable. No one can argue against that. In fact, you could even go ahead and argue that, you know, when Xbox and PlayStation launched, what was their rhythm looking like? You can make that argument. There's nobody saying anything against it, if you get what I mean. So I'm of the mind right now that a lot of these folk that are out here talking about this, you know, gaming scene, especially when they actually don't necessarily know how to maintain objectivity, they unveil themselves as fanboys that should just be observed, and everybody should keep going, you know, to where it is that they're going. Now, here's another one that kind of shocked me. It was Jess Corden who actually retweeted this particular thing that I saw for as the second person who had actually gone ahead to put this out there. Hazard Gaming Dragon of Dojima was also another person. Check this out. Jess Corden says, "This is so out of touch. It's crazy." Hazard Gaming said, "And they called you a fanboy for stating Square Enix will bring more games to Xbox. I like how everyone forgot that now because, you know, last year they were clipping you." Insane stuff, right? But y'all also remember, too, in all, you know, craziness, Jess Corden's also been one person who has been very critical of Xbox's own proposition. But now, look where he's standing on the whole, you know, divide. He is now pretty much calling out people who have their information off, of which I have to say from the articles that I actually did cover from him, I felt the same way some days. But it's okay. I told y'all that they were going to come around. I told you that everybody was going to eventually start paying very close attention to what people were saying. This dude literally went inside of a box and said all of this, whatever that he was just saying. Like, he just went into a box. Sorry, he went into a bubble and started to blip, 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 blip.
PlayStation, look at Xbox, for Christ's sake. There's nothing for Xbox at all. PlayStation's doing nothing. They release 1 game every quarter. And we have like 5 games coming from Nintendo themselves before the end of the year. Then Zelda and Pokemon and Tamagotchi Life and everything coming at the start of next year. There's so much. And it's like, yes, we all want F-Zero. We all want Star Fox. We all want Animal Crossing. Give it a rest.
Actually, you give your lies a rest. He said... There is so much and nothing for Xbox. Did he mean no games? Because that looked like it was clipped. So I want to make sure that, you know, we have good context here as well, too, because as I'm looking at it, did he say, you know, what is nothing? Does he mean the number of games coming out for Xbox, or does he mean there's the excitement? Because if it's a number of games, that's just a flat out lie. If he means something else in context, do you guys notice how the clip has a little cut from it? It might be bait. It might be rage bait. Oh, y'all didn't watch the full podcast. You know what I mean? Like, there could be a thing, people citing me and saying, you see, you should have watched, listen to it. Look, watch the cut.
Look at PlayStation. Look at Xbox, for Christ's sake. There's nothing for Xbox at all. PlayStation, look at Xbox, for Christ's sake. There's nothing for Xbox at all.
I don't know. But if he's insinuating that, you know, there are no games for Xbox, while Nintendo has all these games, he's just living in denial. Xbox's frequency of dropping games, I'm telling you, it's driving PlayStation and Nintendo into irrelevance. That's why they have to reach. You see how far bro had to reach for that? Okay, yes. Anyways, let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate your time and audience. Peace out.